Previously, as per Game Master's instructions, Yotsuya meets Tori, the fifth member, and prevented him from committing a murder. At home, Yotsuya is wondering when they will be called up as it has been weeks. But just then, he is summoned and reunites with others. They hear a sudden scream and rush to check on the person. It is Tori, the fifth member. The girls look at his outfit and are creeped out. They believe he is a delinquent and plans to stay away from him. The Game Master appears and welcomes Tori. He gives them the fifth quest, in which they have to offer Jiffen Bufo at Vake de Mania within 20 days. They are notified about two new updates. First, their revival time has increased to 50 seconds. And second, now they can use fast travel to teleport to any place they have visited before, but can only be used once in a single day. The Game Master then spins the wheel to check Tori's job. Yotsuya prays for him to get a weak character, but he gets a warrior with a specialty in spears. After the Game Master left, Yotsuya decides to first head to Cortinal and asks questions about the quest to Kahabel. Tori is still confused about this whole thing, so Shindo explains it most simply and quickly as possible. Tori is a middle school dropout. He doesn't understand this complicated stuff but agrees to travel with them. However, before proceeding further, he wants to challenge Yotsuya and pay back for the beating he gave him and his brother in the restaurant. Tori charges, but Yotsuya uses his creature's glove to make him kneel. As he tries to land a punch, Tori breaks free from the bind and kicks him. After they are done with this, they teleport to the Cortinal. On their way to meet Kahabel, there is a sudden nervousness since they don't know how many years have passed. Kahabel recognizes the heroes from afar and greets them. Everyone is happy to see her in good health. Kahabel is having mixed feelings, since it has been over 15 years since they last met. Yotsuya is surprised to know the duration. Kahabel introduces her kids and later goes to her mansion. After hearing about the quest, she explains that Jiffen is an island. However, she doesn't know about Bufo and Vake de Mania. It is revealed that Kahabel retired from knights a long time ago. 15 years ago, the Diak Kingdom waged the war despite the measures they took. And during it, she lost one of her hands. After having kids, she felt the joy and difficulty of raising them. And since then she decided to leave her duty as a knight. At night, Kahabel comes to Yotsuya's room. They go outside to talk for a bit. Kahabel holds Yotsuya's hand and reminisces how young they were and how much fun they had. She asks if anyone told him about what happened after he was unconscious from using too much magic. Yotsuya doesn't know. So, Kahabel reveals what was it. She loved him for a very long time, but now she has grown older before him and will be unable to accompany him again. Yotsuya is sad and wonders if this all is just the Game Master's plan. Everyone was listening to it in the hope to hear something interesting, but now they are sad too. Outside the home, a stranger greets them. He introduces himself as Thekas and thanks them for saving him. Hakozaki remembers him and is very happy to see him alive. After it, they head to Jiffen Island. On the ship, a bunch of mercenaries are also accompanying them. After hours, they reach the island. There they are welcomed by Yana and Oyu, who are the ritual dancers of this island. But after knowing they are heroes, not mercenaries, their attitude takes a 180-degree turn. Yotsuya asks about the details of his quest, but he is shut down by them. They will not do anything for free and refuses to cooperate. So he comes up with a plan and promises to fulfill their request as mercenaries. After it, their attitude again changes. They take them to Bufo and explain that Vake de Mania is their island's harvest festival. Yotsuya explains his quest, but Oyu is disappointed to reveal they will not have Vake de Mania this year. In a wooden shed, she takes them there and reveals that the castle is currently inhabited by orcs. For the past 5 years, they have been asking humans to give them Bufo, or else they will eat humans instead. Because they are so strong, the villagers couldn't do much. However, during these 5 years, their number has increased, and it is hard to satisfy their current hunger with the remaining Bufo. And thus they have to cancel the harvest festival. Yotsuya understands his party needs to kill them before the time limit or else the quest will not be complete. However, because of the strength difference, he is unsure if they can defeat the orcs. But despite it, he agrees to help Yana. A mysterious man hears their conversation and immediately heads to the castle to alert the Orc Queen. The next day, the heroes meet Cantal, one of the mercenaries hired to fight against the orcs. He is looking forward to train the heroes. Soon after it, Cantal starts their training and gives them knowledge on how to fight against orcs. After thorough training, the team is formed. Shindo and Tori are in, but the rest are not selected because they are not well suited for close combats and doesn't have long-range skills. Yotsuya is pissed and immediately goes to increase his level. He asks Yana and Oyu about potential monsters on the island. However, he is disappointed to hear that only orcs live here. So he starts improving his farming and chef skills. On the other side, Shindo and Tori are improving their combat skills. While they are training, an orc is watching everyone. Rice, one of the mercenaries, notices him and goes to fight him. Soon the backup arrives. Shindo and Tori try to help but they immediately die. Cantle with other mercenaries exhibit their years of experience and defeat the orc. The villagers are worried. Because it is unusual for an orc to leave the castle and come to this area. One of them suspects that there is a traitor who is telling everything to the orcs. Soon after it, there is chaos, people are scared and start blaming Yana and Oyu for hiring mercenaries. Now they will lose money and also their lives. Thanza, one of the mercenaries, steps in and tells everyone to shut up. He was a kid who ran away from the island, but now he has come back stronger. He gives a motivational speech and explains that they have to protect the island no matter what. The villagers are fired up and look forward to killing the orcs. The next day, Yotsuya finally reaches level 10 of his wizard character. The game master arrives and spins the wheel. Yotsuya is excited and hopes for a warrior. However, he gets a blacksmith. He is frustrated and starts blaming the game master that he is purposefully getting him a weak character. Because there is no way anyone can get a 0.5% chance character 3 times. The game master just leaves. Yotsuya looks at his skills and finds that he can create weapons and armor which can be used by anyone. He is introduced to an experienced blacksmith. And quickly starts learning the basics and the process of forging weapons. After hard work, he creates an axe with a stake on it. Looking at the damage, Cantle agrees to use it. Yotsuya then heads to make more for other members. Hakozaki is worried because Oyu told her that he has been working without any rest. Yotsuya explains that it is necessary and he has to do it. Cantle comes to talk, but just then a villager comes in panic and notifies about 3 orcs killing the villagers on the harbor. The mercenaries take on the orcs, however, against the 3 it is difficult. Tori and Shindo do not have a chance against the 3 orcs and immediately die. Cantle arrives to help, however, he is surrounded by them and finds it difficult to take them on. But just then, one of the orcs' heads is pierced. And it is due to Yotsuya's weapon he just created. He loads it again and shoots at one of the orcs' shoulders. After it, the orcs decide to retreat for some time. Thanza brings an injured villager and asks for help. Yotsuya immediately starts healing him. After this sudden ambush, Cantle is very cautious and increases the village's defense. After some time, another 2 orcs come. This time, Rice and Yotsuya distract them, while Hakozaki and Yuka fire the expo. After hitting one of them, Yuka's level increases to level 10, and the game master spins the wheel. She becomes a warrior with a specialty in swords. Yuka is hyped up and uses the expo to defeat the 2 orcs. The next day, another orc appears. This time, Yotsuya goes ahead to try his weapon. But his hit is weak and the orc crushes him. After it, the orc starts throwing rocks at the walls and the building. Everyone is alerted but it's too late. As one side of the wall is taken out. The orcs start to enter. Rice comes from behind but his sword breaks and he is killed. Both Hakozaki and Yuka are terrified. Yotsuya comes and this time he manages to kill the orc. After killing him, he lures the other orc inside the village. With Hakozaki and Yuka, he kills it. Everyone goes to check on Rice, but he cannot be saved. After knowing the reality of this world, everyone is more emotional and bid him farewell. A villager immediately notifies about Rice's death and the wall breach. Tori goes back up. Together they defeat another orc. Upon hearing more orcs starts to appear on the other side, the heroes go to aid the mercenaries. However, they are too late. Many villagers including one mercenary died. 2 of the orcs died, but one of them ran away. Yotsuya with others heads to the castle to fight. On the other side, the queen orc appears. Cantle with Shindo takes her on. They attack the queen, but the damage is not enough. They both hide and plan to attack from the back. As they were about to attack, the volcano starts to erupt. All over the island, there is chaos. At the temple, the ceiling is about to fall, so everyone starts to evacuate the injured people. However, some of them are left behind including Oyu. On the other side, noticing Shindo is distracted by the volcano, the queen attacks her. After it, She throws her away in the ocean. Shindo is in a panic as she cannot be revived now. She notices the water is receding and understands that tsunami is about to come. Cantal and the Orc Queen also notice it but don't understand the meaning. However, soon tsunami arrives and swept them away. All over the island, people are getting attacked from everywhere. The land is splitting, the lava is flowing, and the tsunami is also arriving. On the other side, Yotsuya after getting to safety meets up with Oyu and the injured people who escaped through a safe passage. Yotsuya decides to take down the whole castle as they do not have time to take on the orcs individually. However, the Oyu is against it. Because it is their island's pride. After knowing the reality of this world, Yotsuya is now more considerate toward others' emotions. He agrees to not and finds another way to solve it. Just then, a red dragon emerges from the volcano. It is too much for Yotsuya to handle, so he decides to first focus on the orcs. After inspecting the castle, he now knows where the remaining orcs are. He prepares a plan, and with Tori immediately initiates it. They first lure the orcs outside, however, they are too cautious because of the erupting volcano. The next time, with the help of the villagers, they manage to deal some damage. But this time they die. One of the orc eats Tori's leg. Yotsuya is in a panic cause now the legs won't revive. As the orc head back inside, Yotsuya notices an orc kid hanging by him. After reviving, he explains it to Oyu. Oyu freaks out because the kid is a female and the next queen. Every female is capable of producing 100 orcs. And if they are not stopped, the number will multiply rapidly. Yotsuya comes up with a plan. He and Tori get on a trolley filled with lava. Oyu goes to the other side and starts distracting them. While the orcs are distracted, using the trolley, they both attack them. One of the orc dies. Yotsuya snatches the kid and runs away with her. The remaining orc chases after him. Yotsuya throws the kid on the lava, but the orc saves her. However, Yotsuya already had stabbed her. After it, he pushes the orc, and both of them die. Yotsuya understands it is cruel even for orcs, but in order to save the villagers it was necessary. After reuniting, Oyu reveals that strangely their life force has been draining since the dragon arrived. Since the villagers can use a little bit of magic, she can see it going up the top of the mountain. Yotsuya takes out his creature's glove and confirms it. He suspects the red dragon is behind this and together with Tori goes there. On the other side, after the queen and Cantal were swept away by the tsunami. Soon, the queen gains consciousness and notices a ship above her. She gets on it and witnesses that it is filled with villagers. She is ready to eat them, but first, she wants to go to her children. However, Thanza also climbs up the ship and is ready to fight her. But against the queen, he is no match. As she is about to kill him, Shindo arrives. The queen too in shock to witness her alive. We go a few minutes back when Shindo was thrown away into the ocean. However, after the water receded she was able to revive. Shindo takes out her sword and fights the queen. But she is too taken out. After she dies, the queen is about to kill Thanza. But she is suddenly hit by a bullet. Because the ship come close to the shore, trapped Hikozaki was able to hit her. Thanza lifts his sword and deals the final blow. However, because of the strong current, the ship is heading towards the lava. Everyone is in panic, so Thanza comes forward and uses his strength to prevent the ship from burning. But in the process dies. On the other side, Yotsuya and Tori on their way up finds Raji, the sailor from earlier. He tells him to immediately leave or else he will die. After telling him, they go up. They finally reach the top and notice the dragon. Tori immediately charges but the dragon unleashes a powerful fire attack. Tori dies. Seeing there is no chance to win against the dragon, Yotsuya runs away and starts thinking of a plan. On the way, he sees Raji is still there, so he violently takes him and runs. Raji believes his identity has been exposed and compliments Yotsuya for finding he is behind all this. Yotsuya drops him and is surprised. Looking at the face, Raji is surprised as well. Yotsuya didn't know about him at all. But now he knows it and he is extremely furious that he is behind all the killings. Raji starts casting a spell, and Yotsuya charges. However, the magic is so powerful, that Yotsuya dies immediately. He revives and gets behind the rock. Tori also arrives and attacks but the bishop dodges it, and freezes both of them. Raji then heads toward the castle and upon reaching, attacks Oyu. Oyu dodges it and runs for her safety. But Raji chases after her and unleashes an attack. But just then, Yotsuya comes and blocks the attack. He holds Oyu's hand, and combining her magic power, he uses the creature's glove to stop him. From behind, Tori attacks, but Raji is still alive and escapes with another dragon. At the temple, Yana notices a magic circle drawn. She recognizes that it is the reason, which is forcing the dragon to drain their life force. She erases it. And the dragon stops draining the life force and heads back inside the volcano. Away from the shore, Cantal is still alive. He notices a person riding a dragon and calls for help. However, Raji is hit by a sudden attack. The water below starts to freeze and he falls on it. It is Fatina who did it. The next day, after everything is solved, they finally offer Jif and Buffon at Vake de Mania and their quest is complete. The game master appears and congratulates them. As for the reward, he asks Tori what he wants to know. Tori didn't even think for a moment and asked what was Raji doing. The game master tells that he was reviving the dragon. And after answering it, he leaves. Back in the real world, Yotsuya is starting to connect the latest events with the vision they were shown about the dragon. The game master appears and tells him that soon he is going to meet the sixth member. And after she leaves, he soon receives a call. Consider liking and subscribing this channel if you enjoyed the recap. Have a wonderful day ahead.